What's up, everybody? Stranger Things Season 5 is finally here. The wait is over, and I don't want to waste any time. Let's dive into Season 5, Volume 1. The Duffer Brothers marked their return to Hawkins by opening the season 6 days after Will was taken in Season 1 by the Demogorgon. He's in Castle Byers in the Upside Down when the Beast finds him, and he's still got that shotgun from the shed. To me, that puts the debate to rest. Vecna did not flip worlds in Season 1. He sent the Demogorgon to go get his prize just like he does here in 3 episodes. Regardless, the Demogorgon chases him through the forest and up a tree before taking Will to his master. This abduction is what allowed Vecna to set his plan in motion. This, and 11 opening the gate, of course, as he says, "At long last we can begin." Now, with the context of the rest of the Volume 1 from Season 5, I'm starting to think that, maybe Vecna took some of Will's power that he did not know he had to strengthen himself. It makes all the sense in the world when you remember that Papa in Season 4 warned Elle about any unknown boost to Henry's strength. I'm just saying. Back in the present, the Wheeler house is more crowded than ever. The buyers are staying there since they don't own a home in Hawkins anymore, and Hopper's using their house to hide Elle and also as a makeshift lab of sorts. She's got a tank and everything, and not only has she been searching for her foe Henry, but Hop's been training her so that she can start coming with him on the crawls, and more importantly, so that she's ready for the final fight. That's all the Chief cares about. Then Nancy, Robin, Steve, and Jonathan are running a morning show, and I want to say they built this building where Dustin's comm tower was in Season 3, but don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. I just think it would be a cool thread through the seasons. Either way, the two boys are still competing for Nancy, while Murray delivers their contraband for the real operation of the Radio Shack. It's the gang's base of operations. However, the true goal of this episode was, unfortunately, Dustin's situation. He's taken Elle's place as the broken soul, and he just wants everybody to know what the Metal Master was actually like. Eddie was a hero. The boys are there for him, but as us guys do, we shut the doors when shit's not flowing our way. Lucas helps them with the basketball douchebags, and that's about all they can do until Dustin lets them back in. We've got another character taking someone else's place too. Holly is stepping into Will's shoes. Vecna's got his claws in Mike and Nancy's little sister. It started when she saw someone outside of their window at the house, and it happens again at the school. This guy spins for her right as it does for Will. He's closing in. But we can't forget about Max, as Lucas and Will go visit her in the hospital. She's still in a coma after Vecna got her. Her body's healed. She's out of the cast. She's just still stuck on the other side. While they're with her, Dustin visits Eddie's grave, where the basketball twats retaliate for the snake in their locker. They vandalized Eddie's grave once again and beat poor Dustin to a pulp. Then Will stumbled into Robin shoving her tongue down Vicky's throat, and I only bring that up because they scheduled a date at Enzo's, which sparked two theories. First, one of them probably isn't making it out of this season, and second, I think the final scene of the show of Season 5 is going to be a big Hawkins family dinner at Enzo's. Anyways, the military is gearing up for another one of their burns, and they're going through a giant gate that's located where the four doors met. So, our crew gets ready for another crawl to try and find Vecna. Hopper sneaks onto a transport, and that's when Will gets the feeling that he hasn't had for some time. Vecna's back, and he's able to see the Demogorgon's attack as his connection remains intact, but now it's almost like, like the Beast is his spy instead of Will being the spy for the Upside Down. I thought that was an incredible return for the show, even though it's not super flashy. Like, yeah, there's obviously a couple of big moments, but for the most part, they're, just kind of setting the table for what's to come, and for me, it worked. They caught my curiosity, and even without the other 3 episodes in mind, really, the end of episode 504, I would have been anxious for more. With that being said, let's keep rolling to the second episode that got going as the Demogorgon attacks the Wheeler's house. The Beast rips through both the Wheeler's parents. It was supposed to be Holly, not my wonderful MILF, Mrs. Wheeler. The Beast does take Holly though, and so Elle goes through the door after her, and she's reunited with Hopper for the hunt. On the other side, Robin and Will are going rogue as Joyce tries to keep her boys safe. They know there's a good chance that Will can not only find Holly, but now Elle and Hopper too. They head out into the woods where the sky started spinning for Will, and I didn't realize this during that scene in episode 1, but when I saw them walk in from the school, I remembered that this is where Chrissy saw the clock in season 4. Everything is connected. Back in the Upside Down, Ellen Hopper find Vecna's version of the wall. He's just got demo beasts instead of White Walkers and dragons. I've got a theory about this wall too. Well, for one, the wall is absolutely what's stopping Elle from seeing Vecna, but on top of that, I think this is not only Vecna's prison where he's keeping the abducted kids, but I think it's the physical manifestation of Henry's brain down under. That might be a bit too crazy, but we'll just have to wait and see. For now, Nancy and Mike sneak up to see their mom in her room at the hospital after the doctors kept them away. She's able to give them the description that Holly gave her of Mr. Whatsit, and it's exactly who you thought it was. Vecna's presenting himself as Henry to these kids, befriending them, preying upon them, and that's how we got Holly. I gotta be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of episode 2. It wasn't bad, and it still had strong moments, but it definitely stumbled. Even with that, my intrigue and the mystery and the web that ties everything together remained intact. This show at its worst is like 90% of TV shows at their peak. The Duffers just know how to cook. That brings us to the third episode of Volume 1, which took us back to Ellen Hopper at the wall in the Upside Down. They're trying to get through it when the military gets to them, and they've got a new toy. They use some sort of frequency to basically disable the girl, and Hopper just barely gets her to safety, but this little duel they have with Sullivan's men definitely isn't helping their case with the Colonel. The duo take out a couple of his men and kidnap the last one. Then we got a deeper look into Vecna's plans. Holly isn't his only target. He's also going after her classmate, Derek Turnbow. He was the one spinning Holly before she saw Henry at the school, and for the record, I don't think Vecna made him do it, although it would be very fitting. I think it's just a coincidence. But Vecna's created a Neverland of sorts at the Creel House in the Upside Down. He's given Holly everything she could want, and she's just happy to be there. Will's figured out that Derek's in Vecna's crosshairs, though, and so the crew hatch a plan. They're going to save the kid by kidnapping him and his family so that they can control the fight and track the Demogorgon. Erica's brought back in for this part too, and honestly, I wish she was in this group instead of like half of them. I'm sorry, but f 'em. Regardless, Elle goes into the soldier's mind looking for the answers that he'd never give to Hopper. She sees Dr. K's secret room, but all she can gather is that it's gotta be someone like her, and so the assumption, obviously, is that it's Vecna. I can't lie, I kinda thought it was too, but once we know that the frequency that disables her is playing in there, it just can't be, because he's still wreaking havoc, and so we'll get to who it really was towards the end of the video. Sticking with this episode, Erica kicks off their plan to save Derek as she takes care of his family in classic Erica fashion. They're out cold, and the rest of the crew got to work doing their best Kevin McAllister impression. The Demogorgon falls right into their trap too, and it's going great until Derek gets his blindfold off at the barn, and Vecna knows he's been duped. Also, they continue to double down on Will's connection. He still prefers the cold. The episode came to a close with Sadie Sink making a return. Max is back. She's a monster that Henry was able to warn Holly about when they got there, and she's no monster at all. At first, I did think this was just a test to see if she'd follow the rules. That would be very much in character for Vecna. It's exactly what he did with 11 before the Rainbow Room massacre, but it was just Max faking the note to draw Holly out and tell her the truth about this dimension. Max's return gave this episode a boost over the second one, but it was still a notch behind the first, in my opinion. Honestly, the big thing pulling this season down so far is the beef between Dustin and Steve. I mean, those two walked so that Dustin and Eddie could run in season 4, and I know Dustin's closed himself off here, and Steve didn't get the girl. Nancy's still with Jonathan, boo fucking who, but this isn't the same Steve that I knew in seasons 2 and 3. That needs to change in the back half. The final episode of Volume 1 saw the Demogorgon arrive at the barn where the gang's got the Turnbow family. Will's Watcher mode is activated once again, and when Steve rams into the beast with his car, Will feels every last bit of the crash, and then he sees Vecna's new prison. Holly and Derek, they weren't the only targets, they were just the ones that we knew about, and this split the crew up even more as Steve, Dustin, Nancy, and Jonathan followed the Demogorgon onto its turf to keep tracking it. Then we saw Max's side of being revived by Elle after Vecna's curse. She woke up in the Rainbow Room inside Henry's memory of the massacre. There's another memory too, one from Hawkins High in 1959, and so I guess they changed it to Henry being 15, not 12, when he killed his family. But ultimately, this allowed us to finally get a better understanding of how consuming everything from all these different people shapes Henry's mind. Back in Hawkins, those that aren't in the Upside Down launch their own mission to get the kids out of the military base. Derek's the key for that, as he helps them from the inside, and this kid is awesome. Whether he's being the brat or being this angel like he is here, he's got range. But Joyce, Mike, Will, Derek, and a couple of other kids don't make it out, and the Demogorgons attack, forcing Sullivan to see the true monsters that he's been looking for since arriving in this cursed town. As that goes down on that side, Hopper and Elle go into the military base that's operating in the Upside Down. That's where they meet Dr. K, and where Hop has a go with the Upside Down vines that they're studying, as well as a shootout with some more soldiers. Then it turns out it wasn't Vecna that K had trapped in the back room. Like I said, it was Elle's sister 8, who we met back in season 2 in Pittsburgh and in Chicago, and our army just got one more soldier. The Duffers wrapped up Volume 1 as the military base is under attack and the army brings out the flamethrowers, taking down the Demogorgons with the hive mind. That's when Vecna emerges, the new and improved version, and he just takes over. He wipes out the soldiers by himself, raises his creatures to get the kids that he needs, taunts Will just a bit, and to cap it off, he quite literally face fucked a dude with his nasty ass fingers. I hope that was the most brutal kill they were talking about for this season and for the show. I don't know how you top that without making me puke. Then when the Demogorgons come back to get Will's loved ones, he unlocks his full potential. I hate to say it, but in this scene, and this scene only, I want to specify, it is only in this scene, Noah Schnapp delivered a commanding performance. Probably the peak of his career, but a great scene nonetheless. However, it leaves you with a million questions. Is this like a psychic thing where some people have these abilities as untapped elements of their mind, or did Will get these powers from Vecna's rape worm in season 1? I'd like to believe it's the first one, but let me know what you think it is down in the comments below. At the end of the day, this was easily the best of the 4 episodes, and the 2 cookies of this double stuffed Oreo, episodes 1 and 4, were the strong suit. If they can carry this momentum into the back half of the season, it's going to be insane. I couldn't have been more surprised by how much I actually enjoyed Will getting his powers too, because I had heard the rumors, and honestly, I wasn't a big fan, but it just amplified my hype for the final fight to come. And so that's going to do it for my breakdown of the first half of Stranger Things Season 5. As always, I want to know what you guys thought about the first 4 episodes, as well as any theories that you have for the back half of the season, so let me know down in the comments below and make sure you have a great day.